Alright, time for the Nintendo Direct.
Many people have been using Nintendo Switch Online since it launched in September 2018. In addition to the current membership, we'll be adding a new membership plan. As a part of this new plan's content,
N64? So yeah, kind of the worst kept secret in gaming, right? The N64 getting added to the Nintendo Switch Online service. What's going on, everyone? I'm Jay, the channel is Square Pegs. Hit that subscribe button down below if you're new around here. And yeah, I like the initial lineup that they're offering. I think it's amazing that we're getting Banjo-Kazooie down the road and Paper Mario being added as well. I think that's great. What I want to do though is I want to head over to my N64 and find you 5 more games that I think should be added to the service immediately. Alright, I just want to call out real quickly that all footage captured today on the N64 was done via my brand new and badass RetroTink 5X. I was able to pick one up last month thanks to my incredible Patreon supporters, and I think it's plain to see the vast improvement in the graphical display. This is run through a composite cable from my N64, and upscaled by the RetroTink into a perfect 1080p output without distorting the graphics or muddying the colors. To say I'm impressed would be a wild understatement. Thank you to Mike for creating such an awesome piece of hardware, and to Gary at Rock Solid Productions for evangelizing this thing, because I was just hooked from the first time I saw one of his videos. There's a link up there to take a look at Gary's run-through of this piece of hardware, and I strongly urge you to do so because it is magnificent. If you are a retro gamer, definitely check this out. Okay, so we are talking Nintendo 64 coming to the Nintendo Switch Online service, and to say Nintendo set the precedent ridiculously high with the latest Direct by saying Banjo-Kazooie from Rare is going to be on the service is putting it mildly. So yeah, I'm coming out guns blazing. I'm saying I want my personal favorite Rare game on the service in Force Gemini. Now, if you haven't played it, and let's be honest, most of you probably haven't, it is a third-person shooter/adventure game where you're a galactic police officer that has been sent on a mission to free the tribals on the planet Goldwood from the evil insect horde known as the Mizar. Gameplay is fast and frantic with tons of enemies to defeat and items to collect, as well as tribal citizens to rescue and save. I love the story. It's not a stretch to say it's 100% an amalgamation inspired by every bit of sci-fi that's ever been popular, and lead engineer Paul Mountain said as much in interviews, but it just flows so naturally together and it plays so darn well. It's a difficult game, to be fair. The controls can take some getting used to, as the aiming is equal parts precise and unforgiving, making the training aspects at the start of the game both necessary and helpful. There's also a natural progression here to modern consoles, where there are excellent multiplayer aspects of this game as well. So adding those to the mix and utilizing the online gameplay mechanics of the Nintendo Switch Online service would be an awesome addition. Okay, straight up, you are seeing the version of Conkers Bad Fur Day from Rare Replay on my Xbox Series X, because I have not been able to find an even remotely affordable copy of this game since I got my 64 earlier this year. And that's okay, because adding the hard-drinking and foul-mouthed Sierradai to the Switch's online service would be a stroke of genius for Nintendo, Rare, and yes, for Microsoft. The price of this cartridge has skyrocketed, with loose ones demanding over $100 a copy. And while it might take some finagling to get an M-rated title on the service, I think there's something to be said for the quality of the game that just makes it a perfect addition. This is quintessential and classic Rare at its finest. The gameplay is signature 3D platformer collectathon with a dark and scatological sense of humor that just revels in being over the top and offensive. But behind that veneer of filth is a brilliant game that leans into the absurdity of everything. The fourth wall is broken consistently, the characters are completely memorable, the music is magnificent, and the level design is varied and enjoyable. Conkers Bad Fur Day might have been a bad day, but it is a fantastic game. It is something that I would love to see added to the service, and I think a lot of people would have a blast playing it. Okay, our third and final entry from Rare might be one of the best games on the N64, starring everyone's favorite ape, Donkey Kong. Now, Donkey Kong 64 is probably remembered firstly for the DK rap at the startup of the game, and whether you love it or hate it is irrelevant, you remember it, everyone does. But the gameplay that you'll get to experience is fantastic and varied, and what will keep you coming back to the title. You start out as Donkey Kong, and your job is to collect bananas, medallions, and keys to rebuild your vast banana horde, unlock Cranky Kong's potion powers, and free K. Lumsy. Along the way, you'll find a wide variety of levels and environments, as well as be able to unlock the kidnapped members of the DK crew, Diddy, Lanky, Chunky, and Tiny, each of whom have different abilities and unlockables to advance through the game with. Presentation-wise, the game holds up shockingly well, and while it definitely still looks and feels like an N64 game because of the aged textures and polygonal models throughout the title, it's a wonderful game that is full of charm and has a decidedly unique sense of humor. I mean, honestly, this entire list could just be rare games. Hello, Blast Corps and Killer Instinct Gold, but I think the three I've listed here are the best of the bunch outside of the forthcoming Banjo. Alright, stepping away from Rare and diving right into the wonderful world of Star Wars on the 64, we have one of the best looking games on the console in Star Wars Rogue Squadron. A fun dogfight simulator, Rogue Squadron puts you behind the flight stick of an X-Wing, A-Wing, Y-Wing, Snowspeeder, and V-Wing, as well as the Millennium Falcon, TIE Interceptor, AT-ST, T-16 Skyhopper, a Naboo fighter, and a 1969 Buick Electra of all things via cheat codes. And you run through a series of missions in order to help out the Rebel Alliance during the war against the Galactic Empire. Factor 5 hit this one out of the park, as the game just feels right. The ships fly like you'd expect them to and control perfectly based on how we've seen them perform on film. And graphically, the game looks amazing, with highly detailed ship models and beautiful environments that move by quickly enough that you're not going to notice the texture limitations inherent to what the N64 was saddled with. And as good as it looks, and as good as it controls, and as great as it sounds with the incredible John Williams-inspired soundtrack, the gameplay is what really brings this home. A solid challenge is present in every level, and the game does a great job keeping you informed of what needs to happen as you progress through each mission. It's the total package, and as someone who loves Star Wars and the Rogue Squadron game series, and the books, it would be amazing to get the one that started it all on the Switch Online service. And finally, we come to what is, in my opinion, the best racing game on the platform outside of maybe Cruisin' USA and Beetle Adventure Racing, Wave Race 64. Wave Race is one of my favorite forgotten Nintendo franchises. A video on that subject is coming in November, and the remarkable thing about it is how damn well it holds up, when you consider the game is now 25 years old. From a visual perspective, Wave Race really does a lot incredibly well. The water actually feels like water, even if it does look like orange juice at times. The racers and the jet skis look very good, and the environments that you interact with look great. The sound is fantastic, with excellent audio for both the music and sound effects in the game, as well as an announcer that actually does a competent job of letting you know your placement on the course and what's happening around you as you make passes or get passed by opponents, or if you miss a gate. But the most impressive thing about this game, and one that has astounded me since I first played it, is the attention to detail with regards to the physics of how a jet ski actually works. In a lot of racing games, killing the throttle and cutting a corner will allow you to ease into the turn, allowing you to accelerate coming out of it and be none the worse for wear. But with Wave Race, it behaves like a jet ski would. You kill that throttle and you're dead in the water. You're going to turn and cut sharply, jackknifing your jet ski and causing you to have to re-engage your throttle and then do a massive course correction on how to best complete your turn. It's so well done, and the multiplayer modes in the game would be a blast to play with the Switch Online service. Alright, my friends, there you have it. 5 more games I think should be added to the N64 online service for the Switch as soon as possible. I am super excited to get in on this on the ground floor and see what they're going to do with this service. I personally hope that the fact that we're seeing an increase in the cost on this means we are going to see more games added more rapidly. I'm not confident in that, but that's what I'm hoping. I really hope, fingers crossed, that that's what occurs. But let me know in the comments down below what you think should be added to the N64 service as soon as possible. And hey, if you dig this one, let me know in the comments as well if you want to see me do this for the Genesis as well. There's a huge library on that console, and it is just ripe for mining to have on the online service. Please hit like, please subscribe down below if you are new around here. And hey, if you dig the work I do around here, consider becoming a monthly Patreon sponsor, like the fine folks you're seeing on screen right now, or check out our merchandise. Links to both will be in the pinned comment down below. Until next time, folks, I've been Jay. Appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me. Until next time, remember to play more games, stay square, and take care. I'll talk to you soon.